Good morning and happy Tuesday.
Welcome to the show. Today is a Tuesday, which means it's Q&A day. We are excited to get to your questions. I hope you guys have had an amazing start to your week. We're excited to be here. Just 2 seconds ago, I had a tood, and because we are on this live and Sarit made me laugh, and I love you all, I'm already in a better mood. Okay, so good morning. Let's sing our song. Let's sing our good morning song, shall we?
I feel like we haven't sang it in a while.
Let's sing our good morning song. Good morning. Let's start from the top so we know where we're going. Lauren, Mel, Monica, Danita, Yvonne, Heather, Courtney, Veronica, Tina, Emily, Brittany, Cassie, Linda, Daisy, Susan, Carrie, Brittany we already said, Nicole, Stacy, and Tiffany, Jeanette. Okay, all right, that's enough of this song. It's Tuesday.
Hold on. I want to see something.
It's Tuesday.
Really, you guys?
Really? Nobody's going to say anything about her lip?
Shit.
Okay, lick it off.
It felt so cold and annoying. And I'm like, I want you guys to say something. You really gonna treat me like that?
You got some here.
Damn.
A good friend is a friend who tells you got black pepper in your tooth. Come on now. Do I have anything in my teeth? Oh my gosh. Hey, this corner of this tooth is fake. In case you guys didn't know. Now you do. Why? Because I broke it snowboarding. All right. Anyways, yeah, I didn't know if they could see it. It wasn't like really big.
Shit. You guys should have told me that you didn't see it.
It looked like it could have been a glare. All right.
Looks like I could have grown a sweet silver fox mustache.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's get to your guys' shit.
So how you going to me?
All right. Yes, Katie, you're right. Size matters. Hashtag I'm 12. Okay, first question comes from Kayla Hafley in Virginia. Oh, Virginia. Oops. I'm 12 again. Would you like to read the question, my beautiful wife?
I took a few days off of burn zone after a long distance hike when I did burn zone day 19, which was an AMRAP and included body weight squats. My thighs started cramping. Thoughts? I did the warm up. I drank about 120 ounces of water, but I didn't have a ton of protein for lunch.
It sounds like you think that protein is the thing that gets rid of cramps. I could be wrong.
So cramping, muscle cramping, is normally due to electrolyte imbalance. And when it comes to electrolyte imbalance, there's a couple of things that we have to consider. For one, just because you had a decent amount of water that day, that doesn't mean that your body maybe wasn't dehydrated from your hike or from however long. Also, just because you drink water doesn't mean that you're getting hydrated. You guys, not all waters are created equal. I don't know if you guys notice, but like when you go to the grocery store now, there's like 100 different types of water. Like back in the day, it was like tap water, mineral water, and purified water. But now we have all kinds of shit. So like the fancier bottles they take pride on, basically having electrolytes in them. Okay, so you want to make sure that the water that you drink has a certain pH. So let's say if it's regular water or purified water, though you're drinking water, its ability to hydrate you is going to be a lot lesser than electrolyte enhanced water. Like some brands that I can think of off of the top of my head are the Essentia water. And whatever it says, like electrolyte or pH, whatever. So I would consider that. So when it comes to electrolyte balance, you want to make sure that for one, you're drinking adequate amount of water. Normally we recommend that the initial goal is half your body weight in ounces, depending on how much you weigh and where you are.
She said she drank about 120 ounces of water, so it's not a dehydration kind of thing.
Well, but hey, she could have an imbalance in her electrolytes.
Right. So what I would do is put hydro sticks, the X Endurance hydro sticks, in your water. Mm-hmm. The other thing that happens with muscle cramps is it's either overuse or you're holding a position for a prolonged period of time. Right? Like if you do 100 squats in a row without a break, you think your muscles are going to cramp? Fuck yeah. So there's that as well, which is an adaptation. So I took a few days off of burn zone after a long distance hike when I did burn zone 19. So you probably also, your muscles may not have been recovered. Mm-hmm. I mean, you said you took a few days off, but in those few days off, my question would be, were you stretching? Were you foam rolling? Were you doing any kind of mobility to release the like knots or adhesions that build up in the muscle with that much use? If you did a hike, then it's a lot of quad. Now, if you say my thighs were cramping, I'm not sure what part, because your thigh has a front and a back and sides. But I would say either there needs to be some kind of other like hydration supplement. Our recommendation is the X Endurance hydro sticks. Mm-hmm. Mobility also comes into play. So making sure you're doing foam rolling and like regenerative kind of things in the interim, right? And that should really take care of the issue.
Yeah. The truth is that we don't have enough data because it's based off of a singular experience. So there's no like pattern that we can analyze, that we can say this and that. We can just throw spaghetti at the wall. So,
and Danita made a comment that said banana and Pedialyte ? I like that there's a question mark because my answer would not be that initially. People have heard probably on Dr. Phil or something that if you cramp, eat a banana, or if you have cramps, eat a banana, because there's the potassium and stuff in there. But if your goal is also fat loss, and there are other ways to rid yourself of the muscle cramps, I wouldn't go for a banana. And Pedialyte is kind of like drinking
trash.
Yeah,
sugar
there's a bunch of
with,
like Splenda or
minerals.
Yeah. There's much better options than that. So not to put that down, I love that you put a question mark because you're like, I'm not quite sure, but maybe this is a suggestion, right? And this is the danger with asking questions on like most public pages. I'll like go into other Facebook groups and I'll look and somebody will ask a question and there's all of these like bullshit answers by people who are not qualified to answer the questions. Rule number 1 is if you're still struggling with something yourself, don't answer a question for somebody else who's struggling with the same thing. Because it drives me crazy. And that's really the only reason, is because it drives me crazy and everything's about me, so that's why. But actually, if you're giving, advice to people that you're even unsure of yourself, then it could be damaging if that person then takes that advice, right? And this is something I have to tell myself too, because we all want to help, which is a beautiful thing, because as humans, we're like, we want to contribute, right? It's a part of like human fulfillment, it's contribution, mm-hmm. right? And so when somebody asks a question, we're like, I want to have the answer. We just, in certain realms, need to be careful with that. So let's go next question.
Yeah.
Read it. What's the name?
I'm trying to read. I
Sound it out.
FreakIn TheSheets.
Now say it fast.
Dude, who
FreakIn
is this?
FreakIn the Sheets. FreakIn the Sheets. FreakIn the Sheets. We're going to answer your question.
From the US of A.
My partner and I have been together for 10 plus years now, and our sex life has become somewhat boring to me. Now I know why the name is not disclosed, but FreakIn the Sheets, hopefully we will be able to answer your questions. This is amazing.
I see what you did there. What a brilliant person. Whoever you are, great job.
I'm like, there's like names going through my mind. That's like, who could this be?
And now you guys are starting to get to some real fun questions.
Can you give guidance? Okay, let's go back. My partner and I have been together for 10 plus years, which is a significant amount of time.
Yeah, congratulations.
And our sex life has become somewhat boring to me. This is so common. So great start. Okay, can you give me guidance on how to have a conversation? Oh, I love communication. On such a sensitive topic without making them feel bad or becoming defensive. This is a wonderful question. And it all has to do with communication. How do I craft a series of words that make up a series of sentences to communicate my boredom of sex without offending my partner?
So
Great. I love it.
So here's my thought, and I would love to hear your response to this. But
Bitch, take your pants off. Oh, maybe not. Don't use that one. Don't use that. For the record.
But you know, if you're feeling this way, and if you guys have been together for over 10 years, then it sounds as if you're doing quite a good job. So for one, congratulations. That's awesome.
Well, maybe. There's a lot of people in relationship. I hope you're doing awesome.
10 plus years is like, that's a minute.
There's people that stay together their entire lives unhappy.
True.
But we hope that this is not the case. My question is, how long has it been boring to you? Because the best thing in any situation like this is to speak up immediately. But we're normally so. This feels like a relationship conversation right now. Is it Thursday? But it normally feel like so many people don't say what they feel. They just kind of let it brew. And let it brew. And let it brew. Until you just can't take it anymore. And then there's like resentment and all this stuff. So my question is, how long? Because that would kind of dictate how I would go about this. If it's very recent, that's easy because it's like, hey, recently I've been feeling XYZ. I'm not sure, if it's just me or if it's you also, but I don't know about you, but I would love to, make this situation better. If it's been a long time, like several years, then it might be approached a little bit differently. And it would actually just the same way. It's like, it's about, hey, I'm feeling this way. I'm not sure if you're feeling the same way. Because the last thing you want to do is blame. Because part of it might be your fault. You don't know what their angle is. So I would approach the situation with the purpose and intention of figuring out what their view is of it. Because maybe they're feeling the same way, haven't said anything, but because of something that has to do with you. And so this is a good conversation that can be had, but it's like, hey, I'm feeling this way, not sure if you're feeling the same way, but I would love for it to be better. Like, it doesn't have to be, oh, it's your fault. Yeah, that's what?
I was gonna get to my part, and like you completely spoke over me, and I'm totally okay with that. But
okay, start speaking again and I'll do it again.
So
Oopsie.
The truth is that if you're feeling this way, then chances are is that your partner is probably feeling this way too. Just being honest. So like Erin said, it really is a matter of speaking up and from your wording, I can sense that you have a solid relationship, or at least so it sounds like from this sentence. But if you have a solid relationship, then you guys probably have a good understanding of one another, and they shouldn't be offended. And if they do have the personality where they take things personally, then I would bring it up in a way that, kind of like, by the way, I'm not sure if you've noticed blank, but recently I felt blank. And what I would do in order to take away the pressure of there's something wrong with you is, now I'm not sure if there's something wrong with me and maybe like I'm going through something, but are you feeling this way too? And now you're just like opening up the conversation in a neutral way, instead of saying, I'm feeling this way, you're not satisfying me, you're lesser than what you were before. Especially if this is like same-sex relationships with two females in general have the characteristic of taking things personally more often than not. But ask it in a way where it's like you're legit opening up a conversation with regards to maybe something is wrong with me, I'm not sure. And that way you're letting them kind of like embrace you through it, and then they will open up. Because when people feel defensive, they're going to they're going to like have walls in front of them. So by opening up that conversation, you're going to be able to see if this is the truth. And, based off of her response, you'll be able to see like, what is the missing link? Now, the reality is that if you guys have been in a relationship for that long, then life gets mundane. And, spicing it up doesn't mean that you have to do some kind of crazy shit, but maybe it means like the easiest way to change a pattern is to step outside of your current environment and into another environment. So now we know that we live in a time where right now, like with the coronavirus, a lot of places are shut down, but the reality is that you guys, like hotels and whatnot, like they're still open and they're, practicing caution. Like maybe like take like a trip somewhere to just connect with one another, because you become a different person when you step outside of your day-to-day environment. It might not be you, it might not be her. It could just be like the mundaneness of life, just being completely honest. Do you want to add anything to that?
Yes. You can put them on a dryer. I'm just saying. Sit on the dryer, turn the dryer on. I don't know. I would say that spices things up. But
from what?
Hold on. It's just a dryer. Okay, so anytime you're approaching a conversation that feels like it could be a sensitive subject, this goes for anything. They're going to understand me. See, LOL, laugh out loud.
I don't understand that. Is that like a joke from a movie?
No, I mean, no. You just...
We've never done it on a dryer, so I'm like, what?
No, hold on. Okay, so anytime you're approaching a subject that could be sensitive, or somebody could be offended or take something personally, you always want to take the responsibility. You are the one responsible. And even if you're not, you still have to ask yourself, am I responsible for this? Because you could be. You could very well be the one responsible for why it is the way that it is. A lot of time people, like, we just look at the situation and whoever else is involved, and we think, what have they done to, make me feel this way? But really, it's what could I have done better to make the situation more like I would want it to be? And then that is the angle you come at the conversation from. right? Like Sarit said, it might be me, I'm not sure, but I'm wondering if you're feeling the same way. Then it's not, you did this. It's, hey, are we both feeling the same thing? Like, I'm just wondering. And then you just take it from there. Mm-hmm. But always, always, always. And if you don't know how to respond, or if you think that your response then to something they say is going to be offensive again, you take the responsibility. It always comes back to you. As soon as you blame somebody for something or make them feel like they're being blamed for something, they shut down. So that's what I would say to that.
Yeah.
What are other spicy things that you could do without leaving the house? Let's talk about that. Have you tried it on every piece of furniture in the house? On the floor? On the dog bed? In the pantry? I don't know. Just some suggestions.
From our current house situation, I don't want to try it anywhere else outside of our...
With shoes on your hands? Like
I think that stepping outside of your environment is a really, like, you become a different person. You see things differently. Like, you experience things differently, and you're able to be present.
When was the last time you sprinkled some rose petals on the bed?
Then you gotta clean that shit up. I don't know. We're two different people.
Halfway, these are like real suggestions. Halfway, I'm just trying to make people laugh.
I really want to have a couples retreat. Would you guys come?
Would you guys come to a couples retreat?
If we were to put together...
Hypothetically speaking, and asking for a friend, if we put together a couples retreat, if our friend put together a couples retreat that involved us, would you go?
Would you bring a friend or your significant other?
Would you bring a booty call? Or would you bring your significant other? Doggy style on a dog bed. Okay. Let's let these roll in and we'll get to the next question. Freaking the sheets. Hopefully that was helpful for you. Let us know how it goes. All right. Danita from Iowa. Is that Iowa? I don't really know.
I think so.
What's IA?
I think it's Iowa.
You don't need to know the state letters to change lives. We're going to call it Iowa. Okay, thanks to you two and this amazing community. I went from having one or more energy drinks every single day for many years to having 0 since October 1st. I began drinking coffee, which is what I now have most mornings. My question is about caffeine addiction. On the espresso I just watched, y'all talked about sugar addiction and what it does to your hormones, insulin, mood swings, etc. How does caffeine addiction compare? Is caffeine addiction just as bad? Is caffeine, my question, is caffeine addicting?
And
is caffeine actually addicting? Does it have addictive properties? I don't know. I've heard of like caffeine withdrawals, like being, so, I guess it seems like it would fall under the category of addiction.
I think if you have an addictive personality, anything can be addicting.
I feel like addiction is a dependence of something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A dependence of something to avoid something else.
Yeah. Let's define the word addiction. So, okay, first.
Addiction. The fact or condition of being addicted to... I fucking hate it when they put the definition, the word you're trying to look up in the definition. Duh. Gosh. The condition of being addicted to, thanks for your help, not help, a particular substance, thing, or activity. Okay, condition of being addicted to is what we're trying to look up.
So go down here. Let's see if there's a better one. Gosh.
Unbelievable.
Really? Okay, go up.
What does it mean to be occupied? It means to be occupied.
Okay, addiction is a biopsychosocial disorder.
I don't think disorder is the right word.
Characterized by repetitive engagement in a behavior. Repetitive engagement in a
use of drugs or repetitive engagement in a behavior such as gambling, despite harm to self and others.
I think that anything can become an addiction.
Sure, I guess I'm thinking about the properties that make something more addictive than something else.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because if you're altering your state through the use of drugs or alcohol or sex or
something.
Yeah. If you're altering your state or trying to run away, hide, or mask an emotion, and you're using something to do that, and it feels like a battle if you were to try to tell yourself no. To me, I think addiction is the lack of control of choosing because you feel dependent on. In like just my own words.
Can we go back?
So my question is, could you stop drinking coffee if you wanted to? Like, could you stop drinking coffee and like be fine? Maybe you would get a headache for like a couple of days, but then it will be over, right? That's the extent of your caffeine withdrawal. Like, but do you feel as though you have the control to not have it? Because then I wouldn't say that you're addicted to it. Like tomorrow, if you told me, Erin, you can't have coffee tomorrow, I'd be like, okay, that really sucks because I mostly like the taste of it, but I would be able to do it. So I would say I don't have a caffeine addiction. I also wouldn't feel like I have to consume some other kind of caffeine. Now, if you're like, oh my God, no, I have to have it, which I really don't think that people live in that like with caffeine, like drugs or alcohol.
Some do. Really? Especially if you go, like in New York, I remember like it was
like
fucking
like
crazy.
they have to, like they can't operate or live unless they have caffeine. That's
all
crazy.
Day drinking coffee.
I mean, I'm not going to deny it because I don't know, but that's crazy to me.
But the crew is here.
The whole crew is here.
Wow.
Say hi, everybody. Yep, there they are.
Oh, do you want to think up on show?
Wow, it's been a while, Boogie. It's been a while, sir. Okay, so
I want to add to that.
Boogie. Okay, are you gonna add, or are you gonna?
Boogie would rather play with Blank.
Okay, great.
So, I was having this conversation, I think it was with one of my mentors, and we were talking about the concept of addiction. So, if you can alter your state, then you can become addicted to something. Because it is basically a craving for that repetitive feeling. So whether it be working out, whether it be posting photos of your ass on Instagram, like it releases dopamine, drinking coffee, having sex, watching porn, shopping, whatever you want it to be. Now, is addiction always bad? I think should be the question that we need to answer. And I remember the conversation that we had. Addiction is bad when your life is no longer being productive. When your desire for that repetitive sensation is now hindering your performance
and controlling your life.
Yes, I would say that that's when addiction becomes bad. So Danita, I want to challenge you. Are you feeling as if drinking coffee is hindering your performance as a human being? or is negatively impacting your health.
She wants to know more so how is it affecting hormones, insulin, mood swings, etc.
Well, it all depends on what you put in your coffee.
We got stuck on the word addiction because I questioned whether or not you have an addiction to caffeine. Because language is important. And this is really important to note. I get frustrated when people say I'm an addict. I'm a drug addict. I'm an alcoholic, because you're literally identifying your character as such, which means you will continue to be. Now, there's a difference between saying that and saying, and this has nothing to do with this question, I recognize, but this is important. Because I really do my best not to label anybody as an addict. You struggle with an addiction. That's okay. Like a lot of people do. But to say like I'm an addict of something versus I struggle with an addiction to this thing, you at least open up the possibility that you could overcome that struggle with addiction. Now, going back to this question, which has nothing to do with actually addiction, we're finding out. It's more just, hey, how does me consuming, caffeine, does it affect my hormones, my insulin, my mood swings, etc.?
So it all depends on what you put in your coffee and how much coffee you have. There is nothing wrong with caffeine, but being dependent on caffeine to go to work, to work out, to just do life things, I would say that you should challenge yourself. Now, if you add sugar and other kind of like stimulants to your caffeine, aka C4 or any pre-workout, it's not just caffeine that goes in C4 that makes it bad. It's the other artificial shit. Then you have to ask yourself, okay, like what is the importance of this? And is it negatively impacting my health? If so, how? The reality is that, coffee in and of itself is super rich and high in antioxidants. So drinking coffee is not bad. But if you drink coffee all day long and you need coffee to be able to get on a call, to be able to just whatever, then I would say, okay, start reducing your coffee intake. Now, of course, if you put sugar and all those like fatty and sugary creamers, then of course, like every time you drink coffee, now your insulin goes up.
Well, you're changing the composition of it too. It's not just the coffee at that point, it's something else. So if we're talking about just coffee in general, and I don't know how to say that name. Retta?
Maybe.
Retta?
That's a new name. Where are you from?
Made a comment that says caffeine is a diuretic and can take calcium out of your bones, increasing your chances of osteoporosis. Retta, I'm not gonna this isn't a bash on you. This is the questions that go through my head. Is the first one is I hope that with that kind of comment that there's a qualification that comes to that, because that's a kind of comment that somebody would hear on Dr. Phil and be like, oh, now I can't drink coffee. Because it sounds scary. Oh, if I drink coffee, I'm increasing my chances of osteoporosis. Well, if I get in a car, I'm increasing my chances of getting in a car accident.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean you never get in a car. However, there are other ways to keep your bones strong. So it doesn't mean that just because you drink coffee, so I only call out that comment because I don't want people to read it and then get scared and then just feel like you can't drink coffee because of that. It's really not coffee. You don't hear, oh, Sue got osteoporosis because she drank too much coffee. It's Sue got osteoporosis because she didn't do any weight-bearing activity and she sat on her ass all the time and didn't do anything. Oh, nice. Sports medicine degree in
orthopedic medicine.
No, that's awesome. And you know what? There's probably truth to that, right? So I'm not denying that. I'm just saying that don't be scared from that comment, because the way that it's phrased could be like, oh my God, I'm never drinking coffee again because I don't want to get osteoporosis.
Yeah,
right?
it's important to understand theory and in context.
In
Because
full context.
Because it's just like, for example, like saying that Cheerios is going to reduce your chances of developing heart disease. Just because it is better for you,
than Honey Bunches of Oats.
Or just eating bacon and donuts for breakfast doesn't mean that it is heart healthy.
Right.
But, the reason why Cheerios or General Mills, I think that they create Cheerios, they put that label on them because people who don't understand context are now going to think that if they have like a heart condition and they start eating Cheerios, that their heart condition is going to go away. No, it's because you're eating shit and you're not treating yourself right. And Retta, I hope I'm saying that name right. By the way, where is it from? Sri Lanka or India? But I think you're a new member to the community, and welcome. It's great to have you being a part of the community, and you sound like you're such a badass. But the reason why I'm saying this is because we live in a society where now, the marketing that goes behind the food industry is very manipulative. Mm-hmm. And it's important to talk about that because if we don't understand the context, then we can make decisions with the good intention, but with the wrong approach. This was literally one of the things that held me back for such a long time. I had the right intentions, but I followed the wrong approach. So you can have the right intentions all day long, but if you're not in the right vehicle, then you're not going to get to your destination. Her name is spelled backwards.
Heather.
Got it.
Sneaky. I'm pretty sure actually now I remember you saying that. But I'm going to call you Retta. I've never seen it spelled that way, but that's what it looks like. Anyways, you guys, this is a good to note also that anytime you ask a question and you get information from somebody, ask yourself, like, what is the full context of this? If you just hear a phrase that's like, this thing causes that, be like, under what circumstances?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, because that could be the truth. Whatever you were reading could be the truth. Cheerios could lower your cholesterol. But if you're also eating bacon and donuts for breakfast and pizza for lunch and a hamburger with French fries and shit for dinner, you're not going, it's not going to get anywhere, right? So you have to look at you as a whole being. And that's what we do in each of our programs, and why people have so much success with weight loss with us is because we focus on the entire being, not just what are you eating or how much workout are you doing. Mm-hmm. So,
how do we take our coffee? I do stevia and steamed almond milk, unsweetened.
I have a couple varieties. Depends if I'm making it myself or getting it from Starbeezy's. I do stevia and half.
Yeah.
Makes me happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you say? Shall we do another one?
Last one. Oh, two things. Oh, you asked two questions. We said one. So you get one. I'm just kidding. My two nutritionists had me so messed up. I was in tears talking to Sarit when I joined the inner circle.
Yep, and I told Conti, I'm gonna change your life, and she's like, yeah, I've probably heard it a bunch of times before. And
here's the thing.
And 6 months later, she's down like 45 pounds, and
here's the thing.
And en route to Absville.
Okay, So here's the thing. This is completely unrelated to any questions. It's just a thought that I had that I believe is valuable. Okay. Now we're living in this world where there is, and I'm not going to go deep into this. And hopefully nobody's offended, but if so, whatever. We live in this world where, so many, I really truly believe that human beings want to love each other. We don't want to be fighting against one another. This world that we live in and the things that are happening, mostly because of media that have agendas, people are hating each other. And what I have to say is that there are good people and there are bad people. They come in every shape, every size, every color, every whatever, every nationality. There are good people and there are bad people, period. There's good white people and there's bad white people. There's good black people, there's bad black people. There's good Asians, there's bad Asians. Okay, so with that being said too, what was my point of this?
I don't know.
Crap. I lost it. I was going to make there's any kind of information that you get there was a comment that made me think of this, I think. So let me go back to this. Oh, nutritionists. There are good nutritionists and there are bad nutritionists. There are good personal trainers and there are bad personal trainers. So when we say anything about the problem with this or that, we're not making an ultimate statement of every single nutritionist sucks. So then all the nutritionists in the room are like, oh my God, I hate you. But the fact is that a lot of nutritionists, a lot of them, and if this isn't you, then you shouldn't care anyways. But if it is you, you're the one that's going to be offended because the truth is offensive. But a lot of nutritionists either don't practice what they preach or all they know is theory and not practical application. So a lot of people actually don't get anywhere with nutritionists.
And it's the truth.
It's the truth. And if you are the one that only does theory and not practical application, or if you're the one who doesn't practice what you preach, you're the one that's offended and you already left. So it doesn't matter now. Bye, Felicia.
In my opinion, I feel like Tuesdays become debate days. It's amazing. In my opinion, the greatest teachers in the world are the ones who are able to simplify more complex context. And the reason why this is important is because when something is simplified, it can be applied. And when something can be applied over time consistently, that's when change happens. And that's why, when people in this industry talk about macros and all this bullshit, I'm like, dude, if you're in this community, I'm telling you right now, nutrition ain't your problem.
Macros are not the problem.
It's what's blocking you here from following through with being consistent. That's the problem.
If whoever you're getting information from to lose weight or get in shape or be healthier is not addressing anything but what you're doing, run away. If all they're telling you is what to do, the what, run away. If they tell you why,
Hold on.
If they tell you how, okay, we're getting a little bit better. But if they address the why, now we're really getting somewhere. And there's good potential here.
Yes.
If they address your why and they tell you the why they are having you do something else, and they're addressing you as an entire human being, not just what you're eating or what kind of movement you're doing, but your sleep, but your mindset, but the words you say to yourself, but your time management, but your surroundings, but what you say to yourself, but what you believe or what beliefs are limiting you, that person is going to transform your life.
But you don't learn that shit in school, yo. You learn theories in school. Man, I wanted to add one more thing. What was it? I don't remember.
I'm helping you.
Oh, I know. I know. This is why the world is the smartest it's ever been. Technology is as advanced as it's ever been, but the world is also the fattest and unhealthiest and most depressed it's ever been. Why? Information is not the problem. It's lack of guidance and context and authenticity that's the issue. It's a global pandemic. How many people do you guys know who, let's say, have high blood pressure or overweight, and maybe it's your cousin, maybe it's your sister, your brother, your mom, doesn't matter, and they're like, oh, I went to the doctor today, says I need to lose 50 pounds because now I have high blood pressure. Or it gets even worse. Most doctors nowadays won't even say you need to, like, honey, your knees probably hurt because you're overweight. They're just like, here, take this. So,
remember when I took you to the doctor in January because you were really sick? We think we had the vid. We call it the vid now. We think that we had it, and we went to the doctor, and you got tested for the flu, and they were like, "Oh, you have a virus, but it's not the flu."
Here, take this.
Okay, hold on. Okay, I get it. Like, you don't know what it is. That's kind of weird, but. Okay, there's a lot of shit that goes around. I can't expect you to know all of this stuff. But then he prescribed an antibiotic for something that he didn't even know what the fuck it was. How can you prescribe an antibiotic for a virus that you don't know what it is? Now, I'm not a doctor, so maybe there's some legitimacy to that. But that's the thought that goes through my head is like, oh, you have some kind of thing. I don't know. Here, take this. Maybe it will help. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I don't know medicine. So maybe there is some validity to it.
but here's why. Weird. How many times have you heard that, oh, this doctor inspired me to drop 50 pounds?
Hey, sometimes there's some good. There's good doctors. There's bad doctors.
Sure. But the thing is, information is a part of the issue, because if you have information without context, you're not going to do anything with it, and not all information is created equal. But doctors will say, oh, you have to lose weight, but how many times do people go home afterwards and they're like, okay, I'm going to take care of myself and I'm going to do this and that? Like, if you don't understand why you have to do what you have to do, you're not going to do it. So people tell you, lose weight, do this, do that, and you end up sabotaging anyways, because you're like, now I'm just upset at you, so I'm going to fucking eat pizza.
Yeah, well, it's not a doctor's job to help somebody lose weight. Like,
absolutely.
That's not what they signed up for.
You're right.
But, it's again, it's like, if you're going to treat something, be it the mind, the physical body, the whatever, you got to understand the whole person. So.
Nice, Heather. I love it. Okay.
It said find a new job. That's amazing. What a good doctor.
Yep. Your environment.
I mean, and it's not even like, oh, the person is good or bad. It's either they're giving good advice or not. Or they're giving you something that's going to be helpful for you or not helpful for you. So yeah. Okay, I think that's it for questions today. That was a good talk.
That was a good talk.
That was a really good talk.
You guys, we're very opinionated because we're extremely passionate, and we believe that, we have to stand for the truth.
Opinionated and passionate are two different things.
We're opinionated about what we're passionate about.
I am learning to express my opinions more where I have a lot of understanding and personal experience, not only from myself, but other people who have asked us for help, right? So, yeah.
You guys, if I could just leave you with one takeaway is, when somebody challenges you to do something, unless it's very clear why, like just ask them why. Doesn't matter whether it's your nutritionist, whether it's your doctor, whether it's, like the vet or whatever. It's amazing. The reason why vets are so effective is because they're like, you need to do this and that. It's going to help with blah, 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 which will blah, blah, blah. There's always a why behind the reasoning.
Really?
Yeah, like whenever we take Boogie to the vet.
Have we seen every vet?
No,
there's
right.
good vets and there's bad vets.
There you
Guys,
go.
Don't like wrap your head around like everything is good or everything is bad. This person always gives good information or always
so
bad
good.
information.
This is so good. This is a lesson for myself too.
Right? And people get so, like, panties have been ridiculously twisted with everything that's going on because people are like, you're wrong and I'm right. No, bitch. We just have some differing opinions on a couple of things. That's okay. You're still human. I'm still human. Can we agree to disagree and still respect each other as human fucking beings? Thank you. Good night.
All right. Now let's go make love on the dryer, shall we? You guys, we hope that you enjoyed today's conversation. Just a heads up that tomorrow's Wealth Wednesday conversation will be, what's the word? We're not going to do tomorrow's episode because we... Canceled.
Postponed.
Because we do have a very important appointment that we have to attend.
Life-changing.
Yes. So
we know you guys will understand.
So we must apologize, and we will...
I'm not apologizing. I'm appreciating your understanding.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. And we will disclose more information later. But that being said, we will see you for our Thursday conversation about how to turn your relationship to a quality relationship.
I love Thursdays.
Relationship conversation on Thursday. So between now and then, have an amazing day, 2 days.
And we'll see you Thursday.
There you go.
Bye, guys.